Good day, good day. Let me know if you can hear me, because I know this music's a bit loud. Good day, good day. Okay, so today we're doing a Q&A. I might just play music off my phone. So how we're gonna do this is that we're gonna go off random topics, and when you jump in and join, you can ask a question based off of what you hear. So I wanted to start with girl digging and touch on a little bit of simping. And like I said, if you have a question, please do ask. So, girl digging. I don't understand how somebody. How do you classify girl digging? Is it a woman who wants financial security? Because there are males who may be financially insecure and they may use girl digging as a way to justify this false sense of security, like, oh, she doesn't want me because I don't have any money, she must be a girl digger. No, we're having a bit of technical difficulties. I don't know why my video is not playing. There are some males out here who may have this, they want to justify being rejected by women, so they may use being a girl digger as a cop out to protect the ego or whatever it is. There are some women who are good, or I don't even like the word, I don't even like the phrase, girl diggers. We need girl diggers in this world. We need women who are willing to set a standard for men. This is how much money you need, and until you get there, then I can't be with you. And that's a woman with standards. I don't think that's a woman who is a girl digger. I believe girl diggers, they will ruin your life. They will literally try to get you out of her, try to you know have you pass on, shorten your lifespan on purpose, just so that they can get your money. But wouldn't you think that's foolish? Wouldn't you think a small gold digger, like a real gold digger, wouldn't you think that she would want you to stay alive for as long as possible, for at least until you secure your finances, so that she's secure for life instead of for as long as the money lasts? Because you want to outlive the money. You don't want you want the money to outlive you. You don't want to outlive the money. So a small gold digger, she'll keep you alive. No, I really don't know what's going on with the video. Hold on. You know what? I see what's the problem. I see what the problem is. And I'm gonna see if I can multitask. Matter of fact, I can't. I can't multitask. One moment. But if you do come in during this time when I'm trying to sort out the video, please feel free to ask any question. I mainly talk about the relationship that you have with yourself. I talk about transformative strategies on how to grow as an individual and how that translates into relationship strategies. I believe women should feel comfortable being able to strategize in order to end up in a secure relationship, because you don't want to be out here single and then struggling for your life, your whole life. Pardon me. Maybe I should keep this up. Now let me know if you can hear me. 1 second. Okay. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. I live by a highway. A woman should feel comfortable having financial standards. If your man makes this much, if you love him, then you would work with him. You know, if he is willing to create a life. If he loves you, he should be willing to create a life where you feel secure in any facet, whether that's emotionally secure, mentally secure, and financially secure. If you want a family, if you want to build a life together, if you're serious about one another, then you'd want to make some money as a man. If you want to be the man in the house, if you want to have authority, then shouldn't you be okay with being the breadwinner? Shouldn't you be okay with earning the most money in the household? Shouldn't you be okay with holding it down financially? I don't think a woman should be shamed for wanting to be secure financially. And then there is cultural standards, religious religious standards, religious beliefs, where a woman expects a man to provide a dowry because that is the man's obligation to provide property and the finances before he is married. That doesn't mean if a man provides property, money, financial security to a woman before and he has the intentions of marrying her and they both want to be together, that is not simping. Simping is when you give a woman money, you pay her rent, you take her out on dates, or you want to take her out on dates, or you pay for. I've heard a guy paying for a woman's date with somebody else. The woman is showing no intentions of being with you. She's showing no signs that she is attracted to you. She's not. She maybe she's rejecting you, dismissing you, invalidating you, telling you that she doesn't want to be with you, trying to get away from you, blocking your number, avoiding conversations with you, but you're still going after her. You're still giving her money. You're still giving her flowers. You're buying her jewelry. You bought a ring or whatever, and she clearly doesn't want to be with you. That is simp. A simp is short for simpleton. But if you're married, if you're together, if she wants to be with you and you want to be with her and you're both putting an effort in the relationship, that is not simping. That is you fulfilling your duties as a man. Just to set the record straight for those who are listening, for those who are tapped in, let's understand the difference between what a gold digger is, what a simp is, and let's stop calling women out of their names just because they have standards, as they should. And just because a man has money doesn't mean that he's eligible to be a husband. It just means he has money. He could be a fool with money. And a male who speaks the most about, oh, I'm got this and I'm got that, look at my shoes, look how fine I am, he may be the most insecure. Oh, I'm a man, I'm this, I'm that. Typically, real men just, they don't go around talking about how much of a man they are. Unsolicited. Nobody asked. And they make it a habit of talking about, oh, I'm a king, I'm a man, I'm good looking or whatever the case may be. He might actually be insecure. Maybe an insecure man is dangerous because he'll make you feel as low as he feels. There's no way that you can be secure in a relationship with an insecure man because he's gonna always bring you down. And an entitled man is worse. Oh, you didn't even buy me shoes. You don't buy me nothing. Why should I show you love? Why are you even with them? Why you in a relationship with them? What do you have to prove? A woman is not a woman's job to prove how hard of a worker she is in order to deserve love. That's a man's job. That's a man's duty. He's trying to put you in a position of a man or his mother. Either one is not a woman's duty to take on the role of a man. You don't have to prove yourself worthy of being loved on. You take care of the bills, you buy him clothes, you buy him video games, you bought his PSP, a new remote control, you buy him clothes, you take care of his kids, you try to keep the peace. What is he doing? Telling you how much you're not doing for him? That type of man is not worthy of your time, your energy, or your womb. We should be very picky as women on who we give our womb to. Not every man is worthy of our body. A man has to be deserving of our body. If our body is equivalent to a man's pocket, what is he doing to deserve you? Talk is cheap. Anybody can put a few words together, make it sound pretty. We need to be stepping on heels, ladies. What are you doing as a man to deserve to be with me? What are you doing? I don't want to just hear how much of a man you are. You need to prove it. You need to prove yourself. Because a woman has to give up her life's energy in order to produce a child. A child, where is all those elements coming from to in order to create a child? It has to come from you. You can't just give that to anybody. No, I said I was gonna play some music. I gotta find music that isn't copywritten. I'm gonna end up playing something that I made. I actually like this. It's got words there. Okay. Now, who's ever heard of hypergamy? One thing that I've noticed, I don't really hear a man talking about the positions of women. Like, oh, she's not a good woman or a good wife because she has a job, or she's not a good woman because oh she's business oriented, she's an entrepreneur, she can't be a good mother, or oh she's a stay at home wife. You know, she doesn't know anything because she's a stay at home wife. The only people that I heard have these types of conversations is other women. I I have a very difficult time seeing sisterhood. I don't ever see a healthy relationship amongst women. Meaning no gossiping, no backbiting. If one of the women from your friend group just left the room, you're not talking bad about her, you're not bringing up her husband, and you're not. One thing that I find very inappropriate is to dress provocatively when you're going around your friend's husband or boyfriend. But mind you, I am marriage minded, so a lot of my content is focused on marriage. I find it very inappropriate to dress with your cleavage out. We can argue that oh he shouldn't be looking. No, she needs to be accountable and cover up. She needs to dress appropriately if she's going around her husband or her man. It's what's the word where it's like you it looks like you're calling it on to you. You're looking or seeking for attention. What's the word? Man, it's not coming to me. It might come to me later. But and then on top of that, I don't think you should be friends with those types of women if you don't have enough respect for your friend's relationship. I don't think that's the type of women that you need to have around you to begin with. You know, there's a certain level of maturity that you need to have to be a friend of mine, I can only speak for myself. Like, say, irresponsible women. I'm the type of friend where your problems are my problems. You got something going on. I feel responsible. I feel responsible in a way where it's like, if I'm eating, we're all eating. So there's no way I'm gonna allow you to struggle if you're a friend of mine. But if you're irresponsible, no, that needs to be addressed. Because if we sort out, say you got money issues and we sort that out, you're eventually gonna have problems after that. Because you're gonna end up spiraling, and then you're always gonna be looking for the friend that helped you the last time. I can't be a crutch. I can't be held down by people who are wrong me. We're gonna come up together. I don't mind helping you out, but if it's a pattern of behavior, that's a problem. Because then that's gonna end up bleeding into our relationship, and then my life may end up taking a toll because you can't get it together. Sisterhood is very important to me, and it's unfortunate that I haven't seen a great example of a healthy sisterhood. Women bonding over alcohol or drugs or gossiping or relationship problems or trauma bonding, tearing each other down, competitions. Why are we competing with each other? Why are we trying to tear each other down? And then on top of you being competitive, you don't want to change. You don't want to do any real work. So you're competitive and lazy? You know how exhausting that is when you don't want to put in the real work, but you don't want me to succeed? It's like, what are we even competing for? What are we even competing over? If you can't get it together and you don't want to get it together, and then on top of that, you don't want to listen to reason, you might as well kick rocks, sis. Because it's not a competition. It's just bitterness. It's just spite. You're just doing things out of spite. You're just miserable. And it's apparent. That's not the type of environment that you wanna be around, or that's not the type of people that you wanna entertain. There was this one point where I entertained this competitive spirit, this monitoring spirit, who was behaving in a way like she was trying to take a blessing away from me. And I visited her energy for a while, and I felt like bored. I got bored to death just by being in her energy. Like, what do you? When I got bored to death, I had to question, what do you even have going on for yourself to try and compete with me? Do you feed off of toxicity? Do you feed off of drama? Do you feed off of just causing issues in people's lives? No, I can't give you my energy. It's not worth it. You gotta sort it out. You gotta level up. You gotta focus on yourself. You have to be obsessed with yourself. You have to be obsessed with the process. You have to be obsessed with your own progress in life. I love who I'm becoming. I love how my life is unfolding. But I can't be open about certain things because then you have competitive spirits. When you are too open about certain things, like say, oh, I'm about to make this move, you might have people who might go out of the way to derail you, and then nothing will happen in your life. You will end up being just as stagnant as they are. Or they might take that opportunity, and then it looks like they're doing so much in their life, but that was yours. I said I was gonna have that interview, but they said they knew me, and I don't know them from a sand of dirt, from a grain of sand. And they put in a bad word before I even had my interview, and they took the interview. Now this doesn't actually happen. I'm just saying this is how people operate. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to be better than them, but they're not willing to become better. So you have to move in silence. You have to be silent about your moves. You have to be great. You have to allow your greatness to speak for itself. I'm gonna be great regardless of these spiteful chicks. I'm gonna succeed regardless. I'm gonna get what I want because I got what I want. I'm not gonna get what I want out of spite of people. I'm gonna get what I want because I feel like I deserve to be happy. I deserve everything that I seek in my life and more. And there's nothing a spiteful chick could do or say that will ever get in the way of that. I started talking about this because I was talking about sisterhood and how I haven't seen a great example of sisterhood in my immediate circle. I know, like the women in say my mom's circle. I know bad things about them. Dealing with a married man, been dealing with a married man for years, and she wants him to leave. The shit, he's been married for like 10 years, and you're still barking up that tree. You ain't got a life. Why do I know the bad stuff? Why don't I know what she does for work? Why don't I know what she does for living? But I know that. But I know she's been dealing with a married man for a decade or over a decade, and she's still barking up that tree. That's sad. And if that's your friends, then you're just as sad as them. Because some people they feel good about themselves, knowing that other people's life is just as bad as theirs. That's why they share it. That's why they share other people's business when it's clearly not business for them to share. Oh, her life is worse than mine. Okay, so how bad is your life for you to feel comfortable enough sharing that type of business? Sharing your friend's business that I'm pretty sure she shared with you in confidence. So you're disloyal. Disloyal? No. That's what we're not doing. We're not keeping disloyal friends. You have to have a standard for who you are with. You have to have a standard for how you live your life and how you show up for yourself. You have to have a standard on who you keep around you as company because they end up being an influence in your life. They end up influencing your decisions. Say you have something going on in your marriage. They're going to give you advice based off of the messed up life. Because people, the wisdom comes from their experience. People build wisdom over time based off of what they've experienced through life. If they've made bad decisions, they don't listen to reason. The parents weren't married. They have never seen the mom married. The daddy cheated on the mom. The mama had them when they was a teenager. The both of the parents were on drugs. They don't know what a good relationship is. So what wisdom would they be giving you? What type of wisdom would they give you? What type of advice would they be giving you? From what experience? Not a good one, not something that you want to experience yourself. If you don't want to experience what they went through, then they're not the best source of information. Unless you look at them as a lesson. Because you can learn from other people's mistakes. Okay, so they said this. Let me analyze the information and see how it works for my life. Let me not act on it right away. Let me see. Okay, they said start an argument to see how much they would leave if they love you. Is that good advice to start an argument to make your man jealous on purpose? No, that's terrible advice. Because that causes unnecessary stress in your relationship. So what should you do? What should you do instead? Okay, identify the problem. What is the problem? Because it's not you against your partner. You're not fighting against each other. It's a partnership. You're on the same team. If you're fighting against your partner, that's a sinking ship. It's a partnership. You need to be working together. It's not you against each other. It's you two against the problem. Let's talk it out. You need to have rules when it comes to your relationship. And say in all relationships, you come from different backgrounds, you have different pasts, different parents who have different experience, you have a different upbringing with different belief systems. You're not always gonna agree on everything. It's not gonna be a perfect relationship 24/7. So you need to prepare for disagreements. You need to have rules. Nobody leaves the house after an argument. If you need to blow off steam, go to the kitchen or something. Go to the backyard, go to the patio or something. But you're not leaving the house, you're not going anywhere else. Because people don't emotions affect your reasoning. So after a disagreement or an argument, your emotions are gonna be all over the place, affecting your frontal lobe, your prefrontal lobe, which deals with reasoning, problem solving. You're gonna make irrational decisions if you act off your emotions. So you need to make a rule: nobody leaves the house. No, we're not going to sleep angry. That means we have to sort out whatever we're going through. No, we're not causing unnecessary issues because then you have to deal with that later. You have to unpack that unnecessary issue later. You already come into the most likely you're gonna come into the relationship with baggage. Either the baggage is from family issues or past relationships. You're gonna come with baggage. Why cause unnecessary problems in your relationship to hoard negative energy that you will never unpack? And then some people choose to unpack when you're in an argument already. So on top of a real issue, you gotta go back to an issue that you made up. That's just too much. Why don't you just be real? Why don't you just talk it out? Why don't you just unpack together? Life doesn't need to be so complicated. Life is complex as it is. Why cause unnecessary issues, unnecessary problems in your life? Nobody says it's gonna be easy, but it can be simple. Another thing that I wanted to unpack tonight: spoiling your man. Why is that an issue in some households? Why do some women, and you see that I'm going after both males and females, we both need to be held accountable. We both need to be checked. I don't pick sides. I'm neutral. Why? Why do some women feel some type of way about spoiling your man? Like, oh, if you want to go get him food, he can get it himself. He can walk. What's wrong with his hands? What? Yes, I'm gonna cater to my man. I may not get him food all the time, but I'm not above serving my man. I'm not above serving my man. I'm not above spoiling my man, giving him massages, grooming him, feeding him, serving him, honoring him. No, if that's not your cup of tea, that's not your forte, then that's you. Now, some men don't deserve that type of treatment. The only way to know if he don't deserve that treatment is to give it to him, and if he doesn't appreciate it, then you just take it away. Everything that you gave him, you could just take it away. If you gave him tender love and care, attention, affection, if you fed him, if you groomed him, massaged him, you leaving is his punishment. You don't have to stay in a relationship where somebody doesn't appreciate you, love you, and respect you. Doesn't show that he loves and appreciates you for everything that you do, taking care of him and his sick, fighting for him. If there's any issues in his family, man, you should. I don't know. Like, if you intend on being a part of the family, does his problems become your problems, or should you just stay out of it? Defending him, but he should be a man. I don't know. Um, if it's appropriate to always be to feel that you need to defend your man, but you should have that inkling in you where it's like you want to defend his honor. If you love and respect him, then hmm, if people mess with him, they mess with you too. I'm a real hopeful romantic. I'm a real hopeful romantic. I'm not shy to spoil my guy. It might be a cultural thing, a religious thing, a home thing. I grew up seeing my mama groom my daddy. No, the relationship wasn't perfect and it didn't last. But that's my experience with that. And a lot of things I've had to learn on my own. Had to come up with my own opinions and my own beliefs and my own way of catering to my relationships. I've had to build up my own perspectives over time. Some advice isn't really helpful. Um, older ladies may have how they that the older generation is like their relationships were different. They may have been more likely to marry for marriage for money, for financial security, than these days where women can buy their own house, open up their own account, make their own money, have their own car. They can be financially secure within themselves to the point where they may not even feel like they need a man. So women are more inclined these days to marry for love. But the advice that you get isn't love. So it's like you have to navigate the relationships from scratch. You're starting with an empty canvas because we're in a new age, we're in a new era. The thing is, though, you can still look into scripture and find how to operate, how to navigate a relationship. You can look in the Bible or the Quran. Some things I've seen in I picked up a holy book in the Catholic Church, and it didn't seem like it agreed with strong-minded women. It advocated for women being silent in their marriage, and I don't agree with that. I believe that I'm allowed with my opinion. If I don't want to do something, then I'm not doing it. Say if a man wants my man wants to have sex, but I don't, then we're not having sex. A man's ready whenever a man's ready whenever. I'm not always gonna be ready, so he can wait for me. I don't believe that women should misuse sex though. Because I've seen a lot of women misuse sex. Sex shouldn't be a chore. Shouldn't feel like a chore. I believe that's a different type of topic though. Because everybody has a different opinion on how to function in sex, how to function in a relationship in regards to sex. I believe a woman's body is a temple. I believe sex is sacred. Sex can be healing or it can be very traumatic. Women absorb energy, take on energy, and if he's not in a pure state, if he's not in a healthy state, mentally, spiritually, or physically, then we take that on. I think we need to be very careful with what we do with our body. That's why I don't believe in casual sex. I don't believe in like say when you I believe people get confused with dating and what dating is and what it's for. Dating is a part of the vetting process. Dating is another word for courting. When you court for marriage. I think if you aren't dating for, you're just hanging out. You're just exploring your sexuality. It's not really dating. I think people get confused between dating and exploring your sexuality. It's not the same thing. You can choose to be celibate for years and be dating during that time. When I started to date, or when I was starting to look for advice, like dating advice, all I kept coming across, when should you have sex when you're dating? Is it bad to have sex with him on the first night? I can only speak for myself. I can't give advice. And all of this isn't really advice. This is what I do. This is my opinion. This is my how I feel. This is me articulating my thoughts and feelings. You can debate me on it. You can disagree. That's your perspective and that's your belief system. This is mine. I can't say I'm fully traditional um, because I haven't lived a traditional life. I didn't wait till marriage to lose my virginity, and I did want to. And nobody haven't gone up to my head. It was just the girls in my circle had a different opinion. When I was around 14 or so, the girls in my circle, they believed that no man would want to be with you if you're a virgin. I didn't want to risk being single and alone, so I gave up my virginity. But I was very selective with who I gave it up to. A real cutie, pretty eyes, and I had a crush on him in middle school, so everything worked out. It wasn't awkward. Some people do have stories where it's like the first time was awkward. My first kiss was awkward, but my first time wasn't. So I don't have a traditional past, and I'm not here to judge anybody. Some people think just because my past is different and I have a different belief system, I'm judging, but that's not the case. I understand that everybody grew up different. Everybody has a different belief system. Everybody has a different culture. Everybody grew up on different information, and sometimes you have to navigate this life on your own, which is understandable. So for the women who have sex on the first date, as long as you are using protection. Now, for me personally, I don't believe in having sex on the first date. I think for me, and it is a very touchy subject. I'm not gonna feel good about myself, especially if I don't know him. I think it's raunchy. It's untidy to be reckless with your body. Like I said before, your body is a temple. Sex is sacred. It should be taken serious. Who you lay down with, you should select them carefully. You need to take care of yourself. Even condoms aren't even good for you. Condoms aren't good for you. The pills that you take to prevent you from having children, not good for you. The shots and all that type of stuff. We're going through the world. Women are putting themselves through the ringer, and nobody has ever thought to look at the man and being like, okay, how are you going to add to the situation? Are you going to be accountable? Are you going to vet? Are you going to have authority and be the man, not get her pregnant? Because we don't know when he's gonna ejaculate. So why should the onus be on us to ruin our bodies? All the methods that they use to prevent women from having babies is harmful to our bodies. Birth control pills trick your body to tell your body that it's already pregnant. It manipulates your hormonal cycle. It disturbs your natural cycle. That can't be healthy. Now, when I had my first relationship, my mom put me on birth control pills. She didn't have a conversation with me. She didn't have the conversation with me. She just put me on birth control pills. She didn't ask if I was having protected sex. I guess she assumed that I wasn't. I was having protected sex. I had only had protected sex. It didn't cross my mind not to. They even gave out condoms at school. So there was no real need to have unprotected sex because there was no excuse to have unprotected sex. So my first boyfriend, my first relationship, my mom put me on the pill, and my cycle was all over the place. I swear I had my cycle 3 times in 1 month, and I felt like I was going crazy. And I started to develop an odor down there. And eventually I ended up going getting off the pill because I didn't feel too good about it. I didn't feel sane. I didn't feel comfortable with the smell. It was just it was just all wrong. So I went back to, the traditional way. Well, not the traditional way, but the second best option was to just wear condoms. And I would carry my own condoms because there are guys out here who don't like wearing them, and they have no excuse. I would understand if you're allergic to it. There are people out here who are allergic to latex, so I would understand. But to just not want to because you like the feeling, that's reckless. And I believe that's disrespectful to your body because he's not watching himself. He's not taking care of himself properly. He's just winging it. He's gambling with his health and with his life, and then with yours. I think that's beyond disrespectful, and he doesn't deserve you. Period. That's just my opinion. And if he loves you, he'll be willing to wait for you. Meaning, meaning, he's not having sex with anybody else. Now, some guys may not. Oh, what do you bring to the table? Why should I wait for you? Kid is the same. It's not about vagina. It's not about what's between a woman's legs that makes her valuable. That's where some of your males, some of your fools went wrong. And yes, your fool. If all you think a woman is her worth is based off of how wow she can throw it back, somebody lied to you, but you're forgiven because you don't know better. It's offensive for a woman only to be seen for what she has between her legs, and then not even considering the womb that comes with it. Oh damn, she got pregnant. Wow, did you use protection? I don't believe that women should even have abortions, okay? I understand pro-choice, pro-life, and all that type of stuff, but we should have a choice to be celibate and not get shamed for it. Women get shamed for whatever they do. We even get shamed by other women. Whatever we choose, we get shamed for. If I was to remain a virgin, I would be looked at some type of way. I'll be looked at like I'm weird, like what's wrong with you? But if I had a high body count, I'll be looked at like what's wrong with you? I'll be looked at like I'm a walking disease. Women get shamed for whatever they do. This superior complex, the superiority complex that these some of these low lives have. They think that they're better than women. Okay, so why why I need to be the one to be the accountable one? Why do I need to be the accountable one? Shouldn't you be the man? Shouldn't you be the mind in the relationship, the head in the relationship? So why would I have to take birth control pills, get these shot, and what is it, every 14 weeks or something like that? Every 14, every 2 weeks, however how many times you have to take the shot. Why should I be the one to get an abortion and risk having little baby bits stuck on my walls? Then I have to get surgery to get it removed. Why should I have to go through the health issues and all this stuff just so that I don't have your baby? Why aren't men brought into this conversation? Yes, okay, a man can't tell us what to do with our body, but we can. But they need to have a conversation on how they what they do with theirs. All I've heard so far in my life is pull out. Not many guys give relationship advices like make sure that she's your wife first. Make sure you marry her first. But both sides don't even want to get married to each other. There are females who don't want to get married to males, and there's males who don't want to get married to females. I understand. There are some males who make being in a relationship look so stressful, so unappealing. But those types of males are not in demand. There are males out here who are in high demand, and there are some guys out here in hiding. And some are either gay or married. I thought all the good ones were gay or taken. That was my thoughts growing up. I think somebody said that before. The good ones are taken. And we need to stop worrying about what's out there and worry about what's in us and what we bring outside, what we bring out of ourselves. Because men are gonna be there. Women are gonna be here. But every day you're not working on yourself, you're moving backwards. Every day you're not working on yourself, you're moving backwards. I hope y'all can hear the music though. I don't want the music to be overpowering. But any questions? If you're watching the rerun, make sure to put your comments. Make sure to leave a comment. I wrote this song right here.
Baby, come on and dive in. I'll lure you into my waters like I'm a siren. Deep breath, baby, I hope you can swim. Get them strokes in, like how I do you rim. I don't know what the case is, but I know it's a gas. You got me out here wildin', acting reckless with you bastards. You might swing your back shit. Call me Mrs. Smith, don't let me catch you slipping like up and down this dick. And on these floors, these bitches tripping. All your shade will never cloud my vision. Baby, just relax. Let me take over the night. Baby, just relax. Everything gon' be alright.
It's a bit bad. You know, the lyrics. The lyrics are a bit bad. This was a later time in my life. Baby, just relax. Let me take over tonight. Feel free to ask anything. So, based off of the conversation that we had, and then we talked about girl diggers, we talked about sisterhood, we talked about man having an obligation to give his future wife money. That's his obligation. Money, property, maybe even other resources, other commodities. To prove that he is man enough to be with you. That's reassurance. Him giving you money, property, and other commodities is reassurance that he can take care of you. And that's his obligation as a man, as the man in the house. It's not simping, and if that's what she demands, it's not gold digging. It's a man and a woman fulfilling the duties as husband and wife. The woman sets the standards and the man's supposed to meet them. But women were supposed to meet our own standards as well. If you want him to be fit, you need to be fit. If you want him to be smart, then you need to educate yourself. If you want him to be high paid, you need to also be getting paid. Or be well versed in financial literacy or economic literacy or both. So that you know how to multiply his earnings. So that you're an asset. If you want him to be rich and wealthy, you need to be an asset, not a liability. Meaning reckless spending, compulsive shopping, all that type of stuff needs to go out the window. You need to make investments. You need to be a producer, not a consumer. It means you have to add value. You have to become value. Whatever that is. Whether you're an accountant, a lawyer, a nurse, an artist, whatever that is, hone in on your talents, hone in on your gifts, hone in, go 100% into yourself. Go all in into yourself, into developing yourself. Develop the skills that pay. Because then when you do that, he'll be willing to pay anything just to prove that he's the right man for you. And it's not just about money, it's about do your values align. I've heard that if you're Christian and his Catholic, or you're Muslim and his atheists or whatever the case may be, the relationships usually don't work out. You would have to be really dedicated with one another in order to make that relationship work out. So if your religion's in line, if your belief system's in line, if your values in line, how you want to raise your kids, your financial values, do they align? Do you guys align? Are you guys compatible? You can have chemistry with anybody. Chemistry is just infatuation. It's when them chemicals flood through your body when you find somebody new. You probably have the same feeling when Chanel comes out with a new perfume or something, or when Apple drops a new phone. Damn, saying chemicals are probably secreted in your brain. Chemistry doesn't mean too much. You can have something in common. That doesn't mean much either. You have to be compatible. How you communicate with one another. Do you both have the same communication styles, or do do your personalities or characteristics complement one another? Do they complement one another? Do you two complement one another? How you dress, because your wardrobe is a form of self-expression, right? Or it's an indication of where you are currently in your journey of life. But what is your plan? What is both your plans for the future? It doesn't have to necessarily be a finite number, like in 5 years, in 10 years, because life has its own plans. So those may not be time, may not be accurate. But what is your plans? What are you working towards? Both of you, not just him. Both of you. What is his plans for his wife? That's also important, because his plans for his imagined wife, because men also go through a thing where they imagine who they want to be with, the type of women he wants. Usually, you buy what he buys you. The things that he thinks that you'd like, or what his love language is, or whatever the case may be. That will be an indicator of the type of woman that he wants. But what is his future for you? And does it align with what you want for yourself? Sometimes um, adjustments, if it's the right person, he may have a different image in his head based off of his upbringing. Women as well, but I'm talking about men right now. Based off his upbringing or social programming, his image on what he wants for his woman may align with that. And if you two are perfect for each other, he just may need to reimagine what he wants for his future now that you're in it. Now that you're in his life, he may need to reimagine what he wants for his woman. Like, damn, she wants to have her own business. I was thinking I'm gonna just buy her a whole bunch of stuff, but she wants a business that makes all this types of stuff. I was gonna buy her a bracket, but she wants to make her own bags. She wants to make her own merch. Okay, well, maybe I need to reimagine what I'm gonna provide for her. And his demand for you, when you start seeing him doing little things that aligns with everything that you told him that you want to do with your life. Oh, I want to be this. I want to do this. I want to make this. I want to, and then say you say, oh, I want to be a nurse. Now you see him investing in healthcare, and oh, now he's a shareholder of a hospital or something like that. Like, when you see him doing little things like that, it's like, okay, he's serious. He sees the future in me. Is he in your future? Does he, when he speaks, Is he using language that reassures you that he sees you in your future, or does he have language that is just short term? If he says, "Oh, I don't know, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be with her in a few years, but I really like her right now," or somebody says, "Oh, your children, your children are gonna be best friends." Like, say if you both came into the relationship and you both had your own kids, and somebody just comments, "Oh, you got your kids are gonna be best friends for life," and then he says, "Oh, if we're still together," he doesn't see you in his future. He doesn't see a future with you. You can be the best girlfriend. You can be loyal. You can be a ride or die. You can be a rider. You can give him the world. You can let him drive your car. You can let him stay in your house and take care of your kids or whatever the case may be. But that type of language tells you is your confirmation that he does not see a future with you. Get out while you can. It's her to use you, not commit to you. He can change, but it also depends on his age. It takes a very long time for somebody to change, because change is not not an action, is a decision. Like, somebody could do the right things, but if they haven't decided in the mind, if they haven't made that switch in the mind, they haven't even given the mind the chance to make new neural connections, make new neural pathways. If they have no intentions of staying with you, but they're doing the right things, that's the intentionality is also important, because that may also create new pathways, new neural pathways. The decision to change is what makes new neural pathways. It's not simple. I mean, it's not easy, but it is simple. It's not in his actions, it's not in his words, it's in his change mentally. He has to change mentally. And when the older he is, the more difficult it is going to be to make that change. Especially if he has a history of bad relationships, and he doesn't he his parents also have a history of bad relationships. And another indicator is if he has his mother's last name. I understand that historically speaking, women were like seen as the most superior, seen as more superior. So it was an honor for a woman's last name to be passed on. But we're in a new era, we're in a new decade. A man that has his mother's last name is just an indication that the person that gave her a child didn't decide to marry her. Relationships and nuance is not linear. Some people they say, oh, this is the case and this is the case. It could be many reasons why somebody is the way they are. Mm. But yeah, I really hope y'all are enjoying this talk. In essence, we're talking about accountability. But I'll take any cash going based off of what comes to mind. You gotta pay attention to a man's history. How was his father when it came to relationships? What's his father's behavior patterns or thought patterns or speech patterns? Does he sound like a powerful, strong-minded man who's action focused and solution oriented, or is his father skittish? Doesn't know how to hold eye contact, hold down a conversation? Is he skittish? Is he all over the place? Is he an addict? Is he cruel to people, or is he kind? Is he kind-hearted? Is he considerate, or is he selfish? Because the decisions that you make in your life, the habits that you build up, they get encoded, they get encrypted into your DNA. And then that DNA, that encryption gets passed on to your offsprings. That's why it's important to know your parents' relationship and how they grew up and how they were raised and so on and so forth. So you can understand why you are the way you are, because you can have a setting or programming that you didn't experience yourself, but your ancestors did. Those who are part of your bloodline went through that same thing. This is why change needs to happen on a micro level. Because when you make a decision, when you decide to change, when you grow new neural pathways, then that signal gets sent to the encryption, and then the encryption has to change. And then change happens on a cellular level. Muscle memory is one thing, but understanding, when you understand something, when you incorporate it into your belief system, that is what changes you on a cellular level. You have to change how you think. And in turn, when you change how you think, you change who you are. And then that encryption gets passed on. Information is stored in your DNA. And this goes back to accountability. I don't believe men are held accountable enough. If they were, I don't think women would have to go through the most just so that they don't, quote unquote, make a mistake and have a child with somebody who's irresponsible or reckless or perverted. Some women are fighting for abortion because they don't want to have a child from the rapist. And I completely understand. I would hate for that to happen. That every time that you look at that child, you're reminded of where they came from. You are reminded about how they were conceived. You're reminded of the man where that offspring came from. And then you have to spend 9 months producing the product of rape. I'm pretty sure that's disheartening. I'm pretty sure that's beyond disheartening. It's crippling. That your womb, that your purity was sacrificed because somebody didn't know how to keep it in the pens. But should we be fighting for abortion, or should we be fighting the lack of accountability that's held on men? Or males, because you can't consider those type of guys man. You have to deserve that title. The same way you have to deserve the title of being a woman. You have to deserve the title of being a father and a mother. Just because you have children doesn't make you deserving of the title of being a mother or a father. You're just somebody who had children. A mother is nurturing, a mother is loving, a mother has an instinct. Oh man, my child's crying, let me go check to see if they're okay. Versus, shut up! Dismissal is not in a mother's tendency. A mother does not dismiss her child when she's the crying or invalidates her child. She's gonna, it's instinctive to cater and nurture that child. You can't consider that a mother because she's not. She doesn't have the traits of one. A man or a father is a teacher, is a protector, is a provider. He doesn't complain. I've never heard my daddy complain. He's a producer. He works. He's not shy when it comes to putting in. He's not shy when it comes in break. He's not shy when it comes to breaking a sweat. Or taking care of his children. Because that's what men do. Parents don't complain, mothers and fathers don't complain because they have to provide basic needs for the children that they had. They weren't accountable. If they didn't want to have kids, they should have practiced celibacy. Both of them. Because you can't separate the womb from the womb from the vagina. You can't separate the deed from the consequence. And then you can't take that and then blame the children for the decision that you made. Accountability means to take preventative measures. If you don't want to have kids with the person that you're having sex with, maybe you should wait till you find somebody that you want to have kids with to have sex. Or buy a toy. Learn to please yourself. Something. I'm pretty sure there's other ways. There's other ways to stimulate yourself. You can probably find other outlets to pour your energy into. Like painting or reading or taking up a hobby or something. There are channels that talk about decentralizing man, not living for a man, but living for your own elevation, your own self elevation, which I agree with wholeheartedly. There are women who talk about getting waxes, like it's no man is worth getting a wax. Who says who says to get a wax for a man? Who says we're taking care of ourselves and going to a spa for a man? Is that shallow? Is that shallow to do all this stuff for a man? I don't know. I just like taking care of myself. And I've noticed that some women don't know how to. There's some women who don't even know about the care package. It's like, I call it the hygiene kit, the lady kit, the pretty kit. Because throughout the day, you're gonna need to refresh yourself. If you're the type of person who don't mind brushing your teeth or flossing in public, you need to have a kit that's gonna have extra pads. I don't believe in using tampons. I use Diva cups. Bring baby wipes with you, washcloth with you, because Diva cups can get messy, and they do get messy, because you have to really get involved. Really requires you to get involved and very intimate with yourself. It's a very intimate process. Bring baby wipes with you, hand wipes, um, face wipes, whatever you need to refresh yourself throughout the day. Take it with you. Some females don't know to do that. Some females don't know how to take care of themselves when the cycle's on. So no, not a lot of females know how to clean up after themselves when they change the pants. Some ladies leave it open. I roll it up and wrap it with toilet paper and then wrap it with the package that the new one came out of. There are also little brown paper bags for that type of stuff. And some bathrooms have the little trash bin so you don't have to leave with it. And it takes some time to get used to it. I just don't believe in using anything that has a chance of causing cancer. But if you choose to use tampons, that's up to you. But my kit will, my kit consists of pads and a diva cup. And I usually have two, but I've lost my other one. And I just never replaced it. Hand sanitizer. Always carry hand sanitizer or soap, because sometimes like there's this public bathroom that has this soap that don't feel like soap. It just feels like it feels watered down, and I don't like how it feels. I don't like how it feels. I don't like how it smells. So I'll bring my own soap. I have a toothbrush on me, floss, lip balm, and I will get like a small everything so that I could fit in a little pouch, a little handbag or whatever, so it can fit in my bag. So it can all fit in my bag. Am I missing anything? An extra underwear just in case your cycle kind of, because sometimes I don't know, like the wean comes off, the wean kind of slips up or whatever. If you don't want to wear that underwear anymore, you can change it. Or if you end up staying over somebody's house, you got extra underwear. Like I said about decentralizing, man, you're not carrying around extra underwear just in case you get something, you sleep over his house and then you have fresh underwear. I don't think like that. Like I said, I, a wife mindset is completely different from somebody who doesn't even want to get married. I have a lot of males coming in. A lot of my conversation, I know I talk to both males and females, but a lot of males don't want to hear about this type of stuff. I don't think they have the stomach to listen to female stuff, like periods and all that type of stuff. I like talking about babies. How do you guys envision having a baby? Because I've always wanted a water birth, and I've always wanted my husband to deliver the baby. And I don't believe in having children out of wedlock, and this is for my life. This is the standards that I have for my life. Some women's life didn't go like that because the men are taught how to talk to women and how to lie to them, how to deceive them, and how to get them and get women to do whatever they want, basically, and still not want to commit to them. And a woman could, quote unquote, be everything that a man wants, but still get played. There, you either have not met the one, or the metrics that you follow is based off of patriotic standards. It's either one or two. You'd have to analyze yourself. You have to go through a self-analyzing process. Know where you stand on that, which side you stand on. You have to be self-aware. You have to be self-aware to know which side you stand on. Even the videos like girly in a way. I don't think men have the mental capacity to even listen to all of this. Unless you're a real supporter. To listen and watch, unless you're a real supporter. Like the guys that came into this chat, I can speak to them in real life. But these type of conversations are women focused. Even the music I make is not it's not gender fluid. It's not gender fluid. Everyone becoming heavenly past. You know if you ever ask. Baby, just relax. Let me take over tonight. Baby, just relax. Everything gon' be alright. I don't know what the case is, but I know it's a basket. Got me out here wildin' like reckless fucking bastards. Came out swinging bad shit. Call me Mrs. Smith. No, if you're watching the rerun, so basically how this is going is that I usually have nobody in here, but I talk like I'm got a whole audience. I do get nervous when people come in because then I'm got an audience, and then I feel like I'm under pressure and I feel the pressure when I got eyes. Because then I feel like I have to cater to the audience. I'm gonna talk about what the audience. I feel like I have to talk about what they would want to talk about. But how this is going right now is that I'm basically just talking about what comes to mind. One of the guys that came in is somebody that I'm is the type of guy that I've brought up before that speaks about the type of guy he is, but is not it. It's like this arrogance. No offense to him. I can actually like speak on him, because that's a good topic. But I wasn't even gonna go there. I was gonna go somewhere else. I even talked about epigenetics. I didn't say it was epigenetics. I just said I'm encoding. Information is encrypted in your DNA. That's how you can be exactly like your grandparents, and you may have never even met them. You may like the same food, the same guy. You might be into the same guy that your granny was into. You didn't even know. Yeah. This is why being taught the word of mouth is very important because it reinforces a standard. I don't really talk too much about finances. I do on a different platform. I feel more comfortable um, talking about because I'm not a financial advisor. I don't consider myself to be a guru. This should have been a disclaimer at the beginning. Um, I am not a relationship coach. With my Bible study, I am not. I don't consider myself to be an oracle, a spiritualist, or a priestess. I consider myself to be an artist because people like to do a thing where it's like, oh, you're not a psychologist. No, I'm not. I am a very curious person and I learn every day. I'm self educated. I study a lot. You can look into the things that I talk about. A lot of information you're not going to be able to find because it's taught by holistic. Say some things are taught by holistic specialists, holistic doctors. So some things that I will talk about when it comes to health, doctors don't even talk about. Doctors wouldn't even prescribe, and they may not even learn some things. They may not even learn certain things. They may not even teach the students, doctors or nurses about certain things about the body. A dentist could like it could be dentist approved, but it the ingredients break down the enamel in your teeth. Why is it approved by a dentist, but it breaks down the enamel? It assists in breaking down the enamel in your teeth. It's bad enough the sugar and the acid in your food and the chemicals in your food already break down the enamel in your teeth, but then you have toothpaste that does the same thing. Like you can be doing the whole thing, flossing, brushing your teeth, and wondering why you still have cavities. I've been told by a dentist not to use baking soda because it's too abrasive. Isn't toothpaste abrasive? Come on now. How else you supposed to get the plaque off your teeth? And doesn't some toothpaste have baking soda in it? Or she either said I think she said that about what was it called? Activating charcoal. She said that about activated charcoal. To not use activated charcoal, just use commercial toothpaste because charcoal is too abrasive. Isn't baking soda more abrasive than activated charcoal? Honestly. No, I'm just rambling. So I'm gonna be on for a little while more, and then I'm gonna bounce. Man, I really had something that I wanted to talk about, but I forgot. The relationships between daughters and mothers. Mm. You know, some guys use the woman's mother to determine how she's gonna end up. That's not always the best source. Using a woman's mother because not every woman has a great relationship with her mother. And then some females may be more codependent on their mothers than others. Like, say, for instance, I'm independent of my mother. I not really take pride, but I've had to be independent. But my sister, she's more codependent. So that method would work for somebody who's more codependent on the mother than the woman who's independent of the mother. Because the independent woman, she's going to take on her own traits. She's going to go out and discover who she is. She's going to become her own woman, independent of her mother. She may seek therapy, and she may do personal training. She may go to a life coach. She may end up becoming her own woman that's far from who her mother is, because she doesn't want to become her mother. So you can't use her mother as a determining as a measurement on who she will become. You can only do that for the woman who's codependent on her mother. The one who can't make a decision without her mother, who has to go to her mother for everything, who tells her mom everything. And my cousin just pops through. Yeah, I don't even talk about. I'm not the type of person who has conventional conversations. I'm not gonna talk about gossip. I don't do gossip. I don't go to the club. Some people may think that going to the club is like I don't know, status symbol or an indication that you have a life or a social life. Yeah, going to the club is an indication that you have a social life, but to some people, going to the club means every week means that you don't have a life outside of a social life. Like you don't have a life. Um, I don't know. Like you don't have a life outside the club. There's more life outside the club. Like there's so much things going on in the world with technology, with AI, with quantum computing, with like there's a revolution going on. And these aren't the type of conversations that you have at the club. I don't know what you talk about at the club. Music, Drake. I don't have idle conversations. Every topic that I will go on is deep and introspective. And it's good for both males and females willing to learn. If I have one question, you know what? I didn't even put it in chat. Ask anything. Oh my goodness. Well, listen, I'll talk on anything. If I don't know the answer, I will think of something. I will think of something or research it real quick. Or just say, oh, I'm not sure. But I wouldn't know until somebody drops a question. I'm gonna just have to go off of what we got today. This was a Q&A, but we didn't have anybody ask any questions, so it's just me talking about anything that comes to my mind. And so I had, or everybody that came through I knew. One person was my cousin. I can't relate to my family. Like I'm just an outlier. I'm just an outlier. I didn't take the conventional route. I don't have a fancy degree. And these days, it doesn't matter. You just have to put in that 10,000 hours and master something. You have to be very good at something and be the best in that field. Monopolize on your talents. I love the conversation on irreplaceable or how do you become irreplaceable? Master something. Go into a field that's highly valuable, highly sought after, that caters to the masses, that is highly needed. Did I say so in high demand? In high demand and be the best at what you do. Become the best at what you do. And get in them 10,000 hours, which is equivalent to 3 to 4 years. 8 hours, 8 hours a day for 3 to 4 years. And the less time you put in, the longer it will take. You can either do it, become a master in 8 years or 3 to 4, but it's up to you. You either to become irreplaceable, basically learn, know something that nobody else knows, do something that nobody else does, but is highly sought after, is in high demand. Basically, be in demand, be high in demand, and be the best at what you do. This could also apply in relationships. Relationships, marriage is a war. When you are single, seeking a partner, seeking a husband, until you get married, you're at war with every woman who's trying to compete with you for your man. You have to be the best at what you do. You either have to be the best cook or the best communicator, know how to communicate your thoughts and your feelings, validate his thoughts and his feelings, acknowledge how he caters to you, how he treats you, how he respects you. Be real, be honest, be open. Sooner than later, it's better to tell him, say if you really like him, you see a future with him, you want to get married, but you haven't told him you had kids. It's best to tell him sooner than later. You don't want him to find out. Because maybe in his mind, he didn't want somebody who already had a family. He wants a family of his own. So you give him the decision when you tell him. Same with females. You give her the decision. She when you keep things away from people that you want to be with, you strip them of the freedom of choice. I didn't want somebody who has a child. So I would rather know sooner than later, before I've already developed feelings for you. But if you truly love that person, you might end up sacrificing that that rule that you had for yourself. You set a rule, you had a standard. I don't want anybody who has children already. But if you love them, you might just make that sacrifice and choose and decide amongst yourself to become a bonus parent. But you gotta open up. You have to communicate. You have to be honest. You have to be real. I'd rather be 100% myself and allow him to decide whether or not he wants to be with me than be everything that I think that he wants me to be. Then he loves me for that, but that's not who I really am. Now I have to keep up this facade, which is exhausting. You you kill your soul every time you lie to yourself. You die a little on the inside every time you lie to yourself because you're not living your truth. and then you will end up resenting him because he doesn't love you for who you truly are. Well, you never gave him the opportunity to love you for who you truly are. You gave him a carbon copy of what you thought he wanted. I mean, if you was just yourself, you wouldn't end up attracting somebody who loves you for who you truly are. You gotta blame yourself for that one. Now, what? I'm at that 2 hour mark. Please leave a comment. Whatever you took from this conversation. I know I did say a lot. I There's a lot to learn about being a wife and marriage and whatnot. And I've always wanted to be a wife. I've always wanted a family of my own. It could be for cultural reasons. Um, My mom started pointing out boys to me since I was in P1 and P2. Like, oh, he's a nice boy. So I could have probably been like 6, 7, however old I was. I was very young when I had to consider um, who I'm gonna end up being in a relationship with. And then culturally, you become, as a Muslima, you become a woman when you first go through puberty. Our initiation is puberty. Our initiation into from a girl to a woman is puberty. Some cultures have quinceañeras or whatnot, but ours is more based off of natural events. And when I became a woman at 12. And ever since then, I have I asked the question: what's the difference between me and a woman? Like what's that gap between me and a grown woman, somebody who's of age? I'm only a woman because I had my cycle. Okay, I'm a woman because I can have babies. But that's not all that there is to being a woman. There's maturity. There's maturity levels. Your financial maturity, your emotional and mental maturity, your social maturity. How do you act when you're around people? Do you know how to behave? Do you know how to be appropriate, to talk to act to behave appropriately when you're in certain settings? Do you know how to articulate yourself well? And it's not just, say, financial maturity is not just about making money, it's how you spend the money as well. How you manage money, how you manage yourself, how you manage relationships. Are you great at building relationships? Communicating with other people, communicating an idea and working through other people? Are you accountable? There's a lot of things that determine whether or not you're a woman. Sometimes it's not age, because you can be chronologically older than somebody, but you're younger than them. You could be mentally older than somebody. You could be mentally more mature than somebody who's older than you in age. And perspective determines your wisdom. Because you could have been in a marriage for 14 years, you could have had children, but does that qualify you? Does you being having been married and having kids qualify you to give advice to a woman who's looking to be a wife and a mother? We've already talked about how just because you have children doesn't make you a mother, and just because you're married doesn't mean you're wife material. You have to be your wife before you get married. If you also watch my Bible study groups, you know that Proverb 31 woman, she was a wife before she was married. So I trained myself. I am self-taught when it comes to this arena. When it comes to being a wife, when I got into relationships, I had the intention of being a wife. If I don't end up with this person, then this would just be a stepping stone towards a healthy relationship, towards a successful marriage. I don't look at failed relationships as the end all be all. I look at them as lessons. I don't believe in hating your ex. I don't know what culture that's from, but I don't believe that you should be friends with your ex, especially if you intend on getting married one day, being a mother. You don't know what's on their mind, and the decisions that they make may interfere with your life. How they feel about you may interfere with your life, with your marriage. And that's too expensive of a risk to take. You have to cut all ties and burn bridges, because we're not going back. We're not returning. We're not returning back to that relationship. So it's okay to burn the bridge. Now, thank you to all those who joined the chat, to join the live. I know many didn't stay. I completely understand. But if you watch the rerun, please do leave a comment in. So this, whoever's watching this on Instagram, this will be saved on YouTube on my Queenshipt page. For those on YouTube, please leave a comment. Any questions, anything that sparked your mind, leave a question. I do receive my notifications. I do read all comments. And for those who listened up to this point, thank you. You're a real one. Thank you for supporting my channel. And thank you for supporting my journey. Queenshipt is where I am now. This is the beginning. For watching, for joining Queenshipt Live Q&A, and I'll see you again next year. Peace.